Two names, two eras, one question. Who is the greatest chess player of all time? Garry Kasparov, the fiery genius who dominated for 2 decades, or Magnus Carlsen, the modern-day mastermind rewriting the rules of the game? What if Kasparov, the king of the 80s and 90s, faced Magnus Carlsen, the ruler of our time? Imagine their styles colliding. Kasparov's calculated aggression versus Magnus' unshakable precision. It's a debate that divides chess lovers, and today we are diving deep into their stories, stats, and legacies to settle it once and for all. Stick around, because by the end of the video you will know why I think Magnus Carlsen is the greatest chess player of all time. First up, we have Garry Kasparov. Born in 1963 in Baku, Azerbaijan. He became the youngest undisputed world chess champion at just 22 years old in 1985, dethroning Anatoly Karpov in what many call the greatest rivalry in chess history. Kasparov dominated the chess world for 20 years, with a peak rating of 2851, which stood as a record until 2013. He was known for his aggressive play, deep preparation, and a fighting spirit that never backed down. Now, let's talk about Magnus Carlsen, the Norwegian prodigy. Born in 1990, he became a grandmaster at the age of 13 and claimed the World Chess Championship title in 2013, ending the region of Vichy. Carlsen is famous for his universal style, able to dominate in tactical battles and grind out victories in endgames. Magnus' peak rating is 2882, which is the highest in chess history. Magnus redefined modern chess with his intuitive play and a focus on rapid and blitz formats. Alright, let's compare the numbers. Kasparov held the World Championship for 15 years, while Carlsen held his for 10 years. Kasparov's tournament win rate is around 73%, Magnus slightly higher at 76%. But here's a fun fact. Magnus has dominated in all formats: classical, rapid, and blitz, while Kasparov focused almost exclusively on classical. Alright Hashim, hit me with some stats. Garry Kasparov, he played around 2200 games in classical chess. He won 770 with 55% win rate with white pieces and a 40% win rate with black pieces. And he drew 1200 games, which is 54%. And losses roughly 188 games in his classical career, which in a win-loss ratio most players can only dream of. Carlsen played 1700 classical games. He won 680 of them. With the white pieces, his win rate was 56%, and with black pieces, it was 48%. That shows his incredible ability to dominate even with the slightly weaker side, which is black. He drew around 875 games, which is 51%, and he lost around 150 games in classical chess, proving his unmatched consistency. When it comes to head-to-head matchups against elite players, Kasparov won 72% of his World Championship game, while Magnus boasts an even more staggering performance, often scoring decisive wins in rapid tie-breaks after classical draws. Alright, let's talk about formats and ratings. Garry Kasparov's peak rating is 2851, achieved in 1999, a record that stood for nearly 2 decades. He stayed as the world number 1 for 255 months. He won over 60 elite tournaments, including his legendary performance at Linares 1994, dubbed the tournament of the century. Magnus's peak rating is 2882, achieved in 2014, and it is the highest in chess history. Longest unbeaten streak was 125 games in classical chess. Across the formats, Magnus is a 3-time world rapid champion and 5 times blitz champion, making him the king of all formats. And here's a fun fact. Magnus Carlsen has one of the highest in-game conversion rates in chess history, often turning tiny advantages into full points. Kasparov, on the other hand, was a beast in the middle game, known for his crazy attacks and killer instincts. Now, what do the pros think? Hikaru Nakamura has said that Magnus is the most complete player in chess history, and he said it repeatedly that Magnus Carlsen is the greatest chess player of all time. Jan Nepomniachtchi, for example, who has faced Magnus in the World Championship in 2021, called him a monster who is virtually impossible to beat in a long match. But players like Fabiano Caruana and Vladimir Kramnik have immense respect for Kasparov, highlighting his unmatched intensity and preparation. Even Kasparov himself admitted that Magnus's ability to thrive in all formats is something no one has achieved before, and that says a lot. However, when it comes to Magnus and they ask him who is the greatest chess player of all time, he always says Garry Kasparov. So you can see how these two players respect each other a lot. Okay, here's my take. I think Magnus Carlsen is the greatest chess player of all time. He is the GOAT. It's not just about his records, it's about his ability to stay at the top in an era where computers dominate chess preparation. Magnus has made chess exciting and relatable for everyone, whether it's his banter blitz streams or his jaw-dropping comebacks. He's proven himself in every time format, against every type of opponent, and even revolutionized how we think about opening. Kasparov was a legend of his time, no doubt, but Magnus Magnus has elevated the game to a whole new level. One big argument is about their eras. Kasparov didn't have access to today's advanced tools like Stockfish or Neural Network, which makes his achievements even more impressive. But Magnus isn't just relying on tools. He's outplaying the engines at their own game, often choosing lines that are humanly understandable but still lethal. It is like comparing Michael Jordan to LeBron James. Different eras, different challenges. So yeah, who is your pick for the GOAT? Kasparov or Carlsen? Let me know in the comments. For me, Magnus takes the crown, but Kasparov's legacy is untouchable. Both have given us moments that will live forever in chess history. Alright, thank you all for watching this video. It was a quick and spontaneous one. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I will definitely catch you back later. Bye bye.